for Jen DeBell Designs and Country Craft Creations today. Today I'm going to do a fun little project to use up some of my scraps. And I thought since I am going to do this project, I might as well make a video and show you how you can also use your scraps. So these are tag pocket easel cards. And they're super fun and super versatile. And so these are some old ones that I've created over the years with really old papers. You'll see some Authentique, some Minte, and some other papers here that are older. So basically this is an easel card that flips up and it sets like so. Super easy to make, and the main focus here is to use your scraps, obviously, and to use a paper that has some sort of a focal point that you can cut out. As you can see on this one, I cut out the baby to use as my pocket. This one was a portion of paper, and this one was a flat piece, and then I added the hot air balloon. So then on the second portion, it's putting tags in the pocket. So you can take it out. It's still decorated, but then you have this fun tag that makes up most of it. And then on the inside, you can also add a fun little gift card holder, different things that you want to put inside. So I'm going to use 3 of my collections I've received as design team packages to make these with you today. I have first the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Color Palette, and I'm going to use Black Artisan with this one, along with some of the 65-pound white smooth, and the I'm going to be using the pink that I have left over, the darker pink. I'm also going to do one using, if I can remember the name, I think it's Simple Stories, Simple Berry Fields. So if you have this one, but you can use any of your scraps. I'm telling you, I'm even using scraps of my artisans. I save everything. And then the final one I'm going to do is the one I just got done working with, which was the Echo Park Sunny Days Ahead. And I know there is still some of this one that we're doing, as well as the Sunny Days Ahead. I'm not too sure about the Berry Fields, but I will look and see if that one is still available. So let's dive in. I've already created the base and the topper for this one, but what you will start with, you just grab, you start out with a 5-inch by 12-inch piece of paper. Like I said, these are super quick. You can make a bunch of, and there's lots of different things you can do with these. They're so versatile. You could make a Christmas themed one and tuck cocoa and peppermint sticks in it because of the little pocket on the front. You could give it for Easter, anything you want. You can tuck tea bags in there and little honey sticks. There's just so many different things that you can do with these. So we're going to score this at 2.5 and at 5, and then we're going to score this at 10. Okay, and that's going to give you 2 5-inch sections and a 2-inch section for your roll-up pocket. This section here is what we'll fold to make our easel. So that is that piece. Then you will have a, I need to get my topper up. I have everything lined up here. So you will need a 5-inch by 5-inch piece of the base color you're using, which will be our cover. And that's what we're going to work on for starters. You will also need a small pocket. Now, depending on what you put on the front as your pocket, you need a base for it. You can make this as tall as you want, and you can make your gussets either 1/4 inch, half, or 1/2 inch. If you're not going to stick a lot in the pocket, 1/4 inch will work. But what I have here is a 6 by, grab my ruler here, 6 by 1.5, and I scored this at half on 3 sides. And I'm gonna grab some scissors because mine is not mitered. And then of course I've mitered all of those corners. And so we're gonna start by grabbing a piece of, I like to mat at least the fronts. The inside, you can mat it if you like, but you don't have to. So I like to mat the front. I'm gonna use the 65-pound white smooth. My stuff is great for matting. And I am just gonna glue this on my cover. And I have cut this to 4 7/8 by 4 7/8, giving me that nice little bit of black showing all the way around. Just gonna burnish all that out. Now the other ones I have not cut out my pieces yet, so bear with me. This is just an extra little project I decided to do. And like I said, I figured if I'm gonna do it, why not put it on camera, right? So for this one, I'm gonna take my pocket, I'm gonna burnish it down a little bit. So I'm gonna set aside my cover for now. We're gonna work on the pocket. And the way that I like to do these is I will set the pocket on here and then decide what pieces I'm gonna put on. So I have some of the ephemera left over in the pink. That's just one of the reasons I chose the pink, because I do have some extra pieces. And I think that I like that piece there. And I already had cut out, we can go ahead and put this on. I had already cut out this piece of the checkerboard, the pink and white. So we're gonna put this on the pocket first. Again, I cut this at, I will tell you here in just a second. I just made a big glue mess there. Was not meant to happen. And again, this is the Artisan Black that I'm using. So for this piece, I cut a scrap to 1 inch by 4 7/8 inch. Now for this piece, you can put this on first and glue it, but I always have an issue with that. I don't really want to glue this down just yet because we're going to glue the side of it down, and I need to make sure that it's spaced properly, and I'll just add glue here and right here because our tags are going to slip right inside of there. So now I need to decide what I'm going to put on the top. And I had cut, I believe, the black and white. So this is from the black portion of the color palette set. Another, like I said, these are just scraps. I don't have a lot of scraps of this left, but I also made 3 projects, one being a huge album with this design team package. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot left. So this was this scrap is 4 7/8, and it was already 1 7/8. So I just left it as is. And then I have this cute little piece of the pink I could put here and then put something at the end. And I think I will, you know what, let's put it there because that is, yeah, we're gonna put that there. So this is just, again, a scrap. We literally have a 1/2 inch piece, and it's not as long as my card. However, the other piece is going to cover it. So you won't see the edge of this. And I'm just going to butt that right up where that one is. And push it down so it's a little more even. And there's that. And then I have lots of the ephemera and different things left over from this collection. I'm trying to decide if we want to leave this white or add something. And I have some of the black polka dots that we could sneak in there as well. And they would also be covered. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw some of these black polka dots in. And like I said, measurements, I mean, I can give them to you. but you don't really want to cut these to fit. You just want to use what you have. This is the whole purpose is to use up your scraps. And see how funny that looks right now, but once we put this piece on, you won't see it. I am basically just adding scraps as I go. So I'm going to leave that little pop of white. I'm going to add glue to my pocket hinges. And this part, you want to really make sure you get this on straight, because this is going on the front portion of the card, and it also acts as the stand for the easel. So just pick it up and make sure that everything lines up nicely. And once it does, you can do your burnishing. Rid of any excess glue, and now we will start building this portion. So what I'm going to do is figure out how far over this goes, which is here. And I'm just going to add glue all along here. And we will stick this one right on there. Don't want too much hanging over the edge, because you want everything to fit nicely. And then I'm just going to run a tiny little bead of glue here to hold this side partly down, so that when we tuck our tag in there, it goes down and into the pocket, but not too far. Okay? So now I have other stuff I can play with here. I have this big butterfly I could stick there. What else do we have? This will work. I kind of like that big butterfly on there. And I am actually going to pop this up on some foam. So let me see what I have for foam in my drawer here. Somehow it got unstuck. I want to make sure that I only put it on here. You don't want to put your foam over here for sure. Yeah, there we go. That's good. So this is what you will have. See, now you can't even see that white. This looks like one cohesive piece. So then what I want to do is I'm going to take some of these tags that I had from the tag page. And obviously these are too tall. I mean, you could leave them that tall if you wanted to, but I am not going to do that. So I'm going to grab my cutter, and I'm going to take these down to 4, let's see here. A good way is to stick your ruler in here. Yeah, I don't want these bigger than 4 1/4. So 4 1/4, wait a second here. Oh, I didn't get it all the way in the pocket. So 4 1/2. And they can stick out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4 1/4 on this one. And then I'm going to grab another one. Let's do one that is, let's go with the polka dots here so I can see more of those polka dots. I'm going to take this one also to, this one we're going to do it 4 3/8. And then I am going to grab some artisan black from my stash over here and just find a scrap that lines up, and this one does. So for the 4 1/4 inch one, I am going to go to 4 3/8. And it is like, what did I say? This is going to go on like so. So we need it to be 3 inches, so we want 3 1/8. And then we'll be able to glue that right down on there and trim it. And this one has a little too much white on this side left over. I'm gonna trim that out. So the other one I want, we did this one at 4 3/8. So we're gonna go to 4 1/2 on this one. by that 3 1/8. All right. So we'll have these 2 tags in the top pocket. Throw away some of this trash. Save all your scraps because, I mean, I'm telling you, lots of fun stuff you can do with all of these scraps. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down to the black artisan bases. Well, I got that one off kilter. Goodness. That is why I love art glitter glue, because it has enough open time for me to slide it around a little bit if I need to, and that's what I had to do. Burnish these really, really well. And then I'm just simply going to follow the line that's there and look at my width here. You can use your cutter if you prefer. I am just going to cut mine. Easy peasy stuff. Then I'm going to grab my hole punch. So we will put some ribbon or something in these. And I'm going to punch that hole out like so. And like I said, I'm going to put some ribbon. But you can see how cute this is going to be. Go ahead and add this one. And I forgot to mention when I did the other one, try not to get glue right where you're going to punch that hole, because it will get your hole punch all mucked up. Set that one on there. This one could have been a tiny bit taller, but that's all right. Get that all nice and burnished. Get rid of all the excess glue. These, like I said, these are really fun, and I've made these over the years and given them as gifts, and people just absolutely love them because, like I said, you can stuff different things in them, candy. You could even put, you know, stickers or gift cards, just so many fun things you can do with these. Like I said, tea bags, cocoa. All right, punch that hole out. And we will have this one. And then we will add some fun embellishments to that after we do the inside of the base. So for your base, you want to fold up that final 2 inches. And we are going to put glue on the sides. And don't worry about up here because we're just going to decorate the top portion of this pocket. So you don't have to worry about putting any, I'm not doing a matting on this one. You can if you choose to. Then this top fold here, we're going to fold down. And make sure everything is lining up before you burnish, because sometimes, as we all crafters know, our score lines can get wonky. This one you want to fold this way, and again, make sure it's lining up. As you can see, this is what you'll have, and then it'll lay flat. Okay? So this needs to be burnished really, really well. But you also need this one burnished really, really well so that when you lay it flat, it lays flat. And you can add ribbon to close it if you like. So onto the inside, we have 2 pieces here and a larger piece here. So what I have is this piece here. I cut some, I just gotta find them. They were here and now they're not. Is it this one? Yes, so I have a piece for that one. And no, I'm looking. I thought I had everything cut out for this one, but lo and behold, I do not. Nope, that's not it. That's too short. Well, I know I cut it. Bear with me. I thought it was polka dots, but I am not. No, the polka dots goes down here, I believe. Okay, so we're just going to cut it again, because I am not finding what I need here. So take a piece of your scraps, and you need to make sure that it's 4 7/8 in order for it to fit on here. And this one already is. And then I need a space, or a top, I need 2 1/2. So you're going to need 2 3/8. And that is going to be this middle piece here. This is going to go right in here. Make sure you dry fit first, meaning put it on the paper if you're not aware of what that means. I'm just going to glue this one to this middle second section here. There we go. I just love these because they're a little fancier than just a regular card, but they're not so fancy that you don't want to give them out. So the space I have left below here is going to be, I'm going to do this at 2 3/4 is what I'm going to cut this one down to. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of the top so I don't lose that rose of this scrap here. Looks like I can do it all the way. 2 3/4. Yes. And I'm not going to lose that rose. Okay. I'm going to glue this. And again, it's 4 7/8 because I'm not matting. And I still have scraps. This is a large collection. And even if you don't have a whole bunch of scraps, you can still make these because it really doesn't take that many pieces of paper to make one of these. It really, really doesn't. All right, I am not in the camera, I just realized. Okay, so there's what we have there. I'll do better on the next one. So that is what we have there. Now I want a piece of the plaid down here. This is our 2-inch pocket. So we're going to need 4 7/8 by 1 7/8. This is already 1 7/8, so I need to just take it down to 4 7/8 and clip it. And that is going to go on this bottom portion. I think actually my best friend loves pink. It's her favorite color. So this one is probably going to be her birthday card, because why not? And I'm going to be getting her a gift certificate, so our gift card, I should say. I guess they don't call them gift certificates anymore, but I am going to be getting her one of those so I can stick it right on the inside. All right, so here is that portion. See how pretty this is? And then you also, just for to mention, you don't have to decorate these top two if you don't want to, but I like the way it looks better. I think it's more cohesive. I am going to use this piece here, this big square that I have, and I am going to use that butterfly because we don't have a butterfly. So I'm going to cut the top portion of this down to 2 3/8. And that should give me most of that butterfly. It's going to cut a tiny bit of it off, but that's all right. And then we want this at 4 7/8. So we will go back to this and cut that off. And that is going to be what goes up here. Let me get this out of the way so I can make sure I'm in the camera view. This will go up here. actually had these out during a Zoom call I was doing, and someone liked them and asked if I could show how to make them. So I thought, yeah, perfect timing, because I need to make some birthday cards and I need to use up my scraps. So you just want to make sure when you put these on that everything opens and closes. All right. So for the next portion, what you're going to want to do is have a piece of chipboard. And I'm using a heavier weight, and I need this to be about, I don't know if this cutter is actually going to cut this. I'm going to move this all around, and I will get out a cutter that I know will cut chipboard, because I already have score tape sheet on this, and I just need about an inch. So I'm going to cut this at an inch, if I can see what I'm doing. You want this pretty straight, and I am not getting, I'm just going to go right up to, you don't really need an inch. This is going to actually look like, it looks like about 3/4 for me. Hopefully that cuts pretty straight. And then I need to cut it down to that 4 7/8. And this side is not straight, so I'm going to cut this one off first. And then go to 4 7/8, just so I can make sure I have nice, even edges. Okay. Now this we're going to cover with paper. But this is mainly meant, this will go right here once it's covered with paper, and it's going to be what holds up our base. Okay. So in order to do this, because I already have tape on here, I am just simply going to grab whatever paper I'm going to use. I'm looking here to see what I want. And I really want this black, but I don't have enough of it. But we're going to cover part of it, so it's okay. So I'm going to piece this together and show you how to do that. So I'm going to peel off the tape that I have. No, I'm going to actually put glue on here. I'm going to put glue. Lots and lots of glue on here. And I am going to put this down to where I'll have just enough to wrap it around and be able to add a little bit more paper to the end. Even though they're not the same, we'll put something on top of it so that you won't know the difference, that I pieced two pieces together. Yes, this is very possible to do, in case you were wondering. All right, so now I have that together. I am going to clip this off and burnish it down as good as I can. And then I am just going to peel this up. And just like you would do if you were making an album, we're just going to bend these edges so that we can miter the corners. Bend it around the chipboard, and then I'm just going to go along and I'm going to miter, leaving it just a little ways from that corner. You don't want to cut too much off because I don't want to see the chipboard. And if you do happen to cut a little bit too much, it is fixable. All you have to do is grab a black Sharpie and fix it like that. So I'm going to put these down first. I just want to go along and push that all down. It is not a perfect science, but because we're going to cover this anyways, it doesn't really have to be a perfect science. So if you have any like overhang here, just kind of tuck it like we do with the lay flat method when we're making an album. And as you can see, I have this nice flat surface, and I'm just going to go over each edge on the back side of my bone folder and just make sure that wrapped nicely. Pull in our card, And I know I have sticky here, but I want to make sure it sticks. So I am going to add glue to this. And I'm going to place this as close to the middle as I can get it. The middle of the paper. Keep that in mind. All right. And then I'm just going to burnish that out really, really well. Sorry for the shaking of the camera. And there we go. So now you have your stand. Now we can go through and add things to this as well. You can add, I have this little bird. I have this gorgeous black butterfly. Let me see what I want to add here. I have another rose, but I already have that rose there. So we could do a couple butterflies here just to make it pretty. Add this little guy here. All this is for is to hold it up. So you can put whatever you want on here. You could even put this other ephemera piece that I have in here if you wanted to. So let's see. I'm debating with myself here. I'm not sure what I want to put there. I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with the butterfly theme. But we have that butterfly up there. So I'm going to do this guy. And I'm just going to put some, and that actually lined up almost perfectly when I put that paper on. I just realized. So you want to put this, but you want to get it down because this has to sit up against this. I just realized. So we need to put our butterfly underneath there. And I think I might have to slide a little bit of foam tape under it too. I have a little skinny one here, so we're just gonna stick that under there. And voila. There you have it. And then, like I said, you can also stick stuff in this pocket. You can put a gift card, which is probably what I will be doing. You can make an actual gift card holder, stick it in there, and put whatever you want in there. So for this portion, we're going to flip this way so that your angled pieces here, I'm going to pull the tags out of the pocket. And now what you want to do is you want to add glue to this bottom portion. Right along there. Okay. And this needs to line up the bottom portion with this. So make sure that you pick it up, and just like we did the pocket, we want to line this up as close to perfect as you possibly can all the way around. Go ahead and flip that. This is that section, so we just want to burnish from this side. It's going to make it a lot easier and a lot less messy. And there you have your easel card. You stick your tags in like so. Add ribbon to them, whatever you want to do. And that's what you have. And then when you give it, it's like so. And you can tuck these down a little further if you're making an envelope. But isn't that pretty? I mean, it's so simple, so quick and easy to do. And yeah, you use your scraps. Like, how much easier could it be? So I'm going to clear these off and put them away, and then I'm going to do another one. All right, so let's make another one. I'm going to use craft this time with the Simple Vintage Berry Fields. So I have my 5x12 and my 5x5. I'm going to do one more, and then the other one I'll probably do off camera, and I will show how it turned out. They're all the same. And I will say, in my originals, I wanted to make a little bit more room on a couple of them. And if you're going to do that, you would just add a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch gusset between your pages here. You don't have to do that, but it just worked out better for this specific card. And basically what that does So that makes this portion down here a little shorter, and you just have to add a little paper to the part that folds up. You'll have 1.5 inches left over instead of 2, and a 1.5 inch pocket will work too. I would just suggest making your chipboard piece that goes across the bottom at 1/2 inch rather than 1 inch. All right, so again, we are going to score at 2.5, at 5, and at 10 for that. And then we have our 5x5 piece already done. I will need my 6-inch for the inside pocket or outside pocket. So we need 6 by, what do I have here? 2. That's fine. It's almost 2. Again, I'm using scraps, so I don't need any more of that. Okay. I'm going to score this at 1/2 on 3 sides. And I'm going to cut out these little squares. You can cross miter like I did the last one, or you can cut out the squares. I do it differently, like here and there. They both work, so I like to fold this one back when I do it this way. That way I get a good miter on both corners. Fold it back and miter, fold it back and miter. Okay, this is our front pocket. Let's go ahead and get this nicely burnished because we want these good and flat, remember. All right, so let me dive into what I have for paper on this one. I have not a lot, but I do have some scraps. I made a quite large album with this, so as you can see, I don't have a lot left, but it doesn't take that much. What I have is a lot of the ephemera pieces, but we'll utilize those too, and I just threw one across the room. And then paper-wise, I have these. So, and I have some more here. But I already have cut out this truck because this is going to be our pocket. I just love that. So, all right. So our bottom pocket on the inside, again, let's burnish that one up. Fold your 5 inches down and make sure this all lines up. Give that a good burnish. And then fold in your easel portion. And line it up and give that a good burnish. Okay. And then I like to go on both sides and burnish that top score line because we want it to lay down, but you also want it to stand up. So you have to have both. Go ahead and add glue to those 2 sides of that bottom pocket flap. Again, if you want, I will also tell you, if you want to put more in the inside pocket, add gussets to these pockets. It's super simple. You would just cut, in fact, I'll do it on this one just so you can see. So I'm going to take that off before it glues. The pocket is 2 inches. So I am going to cut this down to 1, this scrap I have here. And I'm going to cut 2 of them at 2 inches. You might be asking, Jen, what about the bottom? Well, I have done these many, many times without a bottom gusset, and they work just fine. You don't always have to have that bottom gusset. Bring this in. Oh, I'm going to put this, I would love to put that on there. See, I find this is a scrap from this collection. They're both simple stories. But I would love to put that on that pink and black card that we made. That's super cute. Okay. Off track. Take these 1-inch pieces and score them both at 1/2. and your scoreboard. And I'm just going to fold and burnish these really nicely. Both sides. Fold and burnish both sides. And then I'm going to miter these. I want them mitered. And I will show you what you'll end up with. They'll look like a couple little wings here, like so. Okay? And these are just simply going to go right inside of here. So add glue to one side and put the first tip of it right up against, am I in the camera? I am not. Let's try being in camera, that would help. Get these all the way up against that edge, but don't go over. And then you can burnish it. Sometimes craft is a little harder to see on camera. And if you cut these a little too big, just trim it at the edge. You want your flap to open this way. I like to put mine at the bottom first, where my score line is, and see this one. I didn't quite miter enough, so I can show you what I mean. Let me just get this burnished. As you can see, I have a little tip there that's sticking out, and I am just simply gonna clip that off with my scissors. Okay. Then you can add glue to this portion of that little flap. And simply fold it up, just like you would if it was a tuck. We are just adding a little bit of room, and it will kind of buckle up on you a little because you don't have that bottom, but now you have a little bit more space, okay? Easy peasy stuff. All right, let's work on our cover first. So I have my 5x5. I am gonna grab a piece of the white. I think I might have already cut one actually. Oh no, that's not it. I need smooth white, and that is not the smooth. Is this 4 7/8 at least? Yes, okay. So I'm going to grab my white smooth. I'm going to cut this to, no, that is not 4 7/8. Let's try that again. 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. I'll be getting that cutter out real quick here in a minute because I've got a lot of paper. I didn't cut any of the paper except for that fun little truck for this one. Okay, I'm going to set that on there. This is my, if it doesn't stick to my fingers, that really does not work for me. I don't know why this is not fitting. Did I do something wrong? This should be 4 7/8. 4 7/8. Did I cut this wrong? Nope, I am just losing it. Sometimes craft on my desk, because my desk is almost a craft color. There we go. I can't really see the craft. You probably can't either. So I try to hold it up. But I've also been told that my lighting in here will glare when I hold something up. But you get the idea. So you have that little bit of craft showing all the way around. So now I'm going to dive in here and see what I have for paper that will fit. And we're going to do another piecing. Ooh, I like this blue. Let's use this blue piece. So I'm going to cut this down. This was obviously an angled pocket at one point. I need to, this needs to be 4 3/4, but I have a kind of a funky edge there, so I'm going to cut from both sides on this scrap. Sometimes you'll find a piece that you love, but both sides are either torn or jagged. Just cut from both sides. All right, and I'm going to leave it kind of angled because I kind of like that look. And I'm going to just cut this one to 2 3/4 and fix that angle. That is a mess. All right. right, so that's going to give me this piece here. All right, what else do we got? We got this little bit of red here. I just need to fit a corner in here. Would be cool. So what we have there, let's just take this down to 2 inches. And let's see if that will fit on there. It's a little big. Yeah, this angle thing is not really working for me. All right, I have a piece of the blue right here. Rewind. We're gonna go to 4 7/8 or 4 3/4 on this piece of the blue. Still gonna use the blue, but just not in that way. And I'm gonna take it to 2 1/2. And that'll be our top portion. And then I thought I saw a really pretty section of the yellow. Yes, this with the flowers. I'm going to take this one to 4 3/4 and just leave it at the thickness that it is, like so. And I still want a pop of that red in there, so I'm going to go 4 3/4 on this one. And then just take it down 1 inch. To 1 inch, I should say. And just use that as a border. Stinking cute. Okay. So this is how I'm going to do this one. Our pocket is going to be this adorable truck. So I need to put the truck on. And then, well, you're not even going to see that yellow, so we won't do the yellow, I guess. Or we could move the blue down, move the yellow up, and the red here. Let's see what we get here. Let's see, pop of that blue. Nope. Nope, not liking it. It happens. What else do I have? Oh, I have this green. That goes really well. That's a lot of green, though. Oh, stripes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, and yes, please. I hope this is long enough because I love this stripe. Look at that. It is. Okay. Woo! Let's take this down to 4 3/4 because this was one of my favorites in this paper, was this red and white. So we're going to go ahead and put that up there while we have it because I love it. Again, I'm using scraps, so measurements don't really do you a whole lot of good. You're going to do whatever you want to do, but I really wanted you to see how to make the bases and how to cut the pockets from a good portion of a sheet that you have left over. Like this one was part of a sheet with the truck. And we really don't need to put any other color on this because, well, because it covers most of it. So I am going to, you know what, I'm actually going to cut, I'm going to fussy cut all that green and red, or at least the green, off the bottom here and around my tires. Remember to let the paper move the scissors, not the scissors move the paper. If you are not familiar with fussy cutting, you will get a much better result if you move the paper. So then we can have our little wheels and they'll set on the pedestal. All right. What did I do with our pocket? Here it is. Let's put this pocket on. Again, we're just going to add glue to the gussets and add this pocket. I'm going to pick it up so we make sure that it is lining up. And you're going to have lots of mess. The glue is going to seep out everywhere. Finish it from the other side as well and get rid of the excess glue. And there we have that. And now our little truck will sit there. So we do need to put something here. And I am thinking, go back to maybe a yellow. Ooh, maybe some of this. Oh yes, I have a whole piece of this here, so we're gonna use this. I'm gonna snip this to 4 3/4. This little strip I have of the, what looks like a ruler. It's sideways, but the whole paper is back and forth and sideways, so it's okay. And I'm just gonna put that right in there. It's gonna have to slide inside of our pocket a little because I made it a little big. All right. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, we don't need to put anything on this pocket because the truck literally covers the whole entire pocket. So we're going to just add glue to the pocket. And bring it all the way down so that you cover that pocket. And burnish. And if you're uncomfortable with this hanging off the side, which I am a little, but I think it'll be all right, you could cut that portion of the truck off. I'm gonna trim it a little bit. I'm just gonna, there we go. I like that better. This side doesn't really stick out much. And then you'll just have those wheels that stick out on the bottom. All right, so for this one, I have a couple different tags left over. This super fun one with the, I mean, you can just do anything you want. I mean, look how cute that is. Just stack it full of stuff. All right, let's do the inside. And I want to use some of that yellow still. So muchly. Let's see here. I use this green, so I'm gonna go one end. We need two. We have 2 1/2, so 2 3/8. I'm forgetting my own measurements here. I'll go this way because that's got some extra on it. We want 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. That will be our top. And I'm going to get some of that blue in there. It's not going to be that piece though. I'm hoping to get some of that blue in there. I'm hoping I have, yes I do. Look at that. Let's do another 2 7/8. Now wait a second here. We have, what do we have here? I want the blue, I think, down here. So we're going to do 2 7/8. This way. I'm a little shredded on that side. I'm a little shredded on both. So we're going to go to 3. And then I'm going to go to 2 7/8. So I have a nice, clean, unshredded piece of paper. 4 7/8. Let's do it again, because we are shredded on this side as well. All right. That's going to be the top of our pocket. Then we'll have our green, and then I want to get a little yellow in there, and I have this. So I'm going to go with 2 7/8. Excuse me, 2 3/8. Oh my goodness. Can't count today. 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. And that's going to be our top. And then we need something for this very bottom. Now we could repeat the green, or I could do some red. You can, like I said, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want with these. I'm gonna go with this one. We have a 1 1/2 inch pocket, do we? Or 2, sorry, 2. So we need 1 7/8 by 4 7/8. All right, got all those pieces. So I'm just going to add these. I don't want to bore anybody. And like I said, I will probably throw one together with that Sunny Days Ahead. I don't have a ton of that paper left. I'm trying to decide which way this one goes. I don't want to put it upside down. It looks like the writing is that way. Okay. Sometimes I can't see it well enough, but put that piece there. And I'm going to put the green. Ooh, look, we got jars. Actually, I like the jars better. I'm going to use the jars. Super cute. I like the jar side. See, and you'll do that too when you're doing these scrap projects. You realize when you cut it, wait a minute, you like the other side better. I do that all the time. So I'm going to use these jars because they're just stinking adorable. Is that? Yeah. Make sure your papers, when you put them down, clear your score lines, or this easel card will not work. All right, and then our blue. And the easy part about this too is you can line it up with the last one that you put down, which makes it nice. All right, and then our red. And then we will finish up the pocket, and you will have learned how I make these fun little easel cards. And use outdoor scraps. Paper should not be thrown in the garbage, in my opinion. Ooh, that is crooked. Goodness gracious. We will put something there to hide that. Another fun thing about scraps is you have a lot of options for hiding any boo-boos. So let me see what I have here and the ephemera. I have a whole bunch. Let me check it out. You can add little things like that. You can put that there. Like this fun little guy. Have a bicycle. I'm trying to find something I can put under the... Oh wait, here we have this fun. Look at that. How fun is that? It's a little much though. It's a little big. Which was a little bit smaller. Oh, here's a smaller version. Maybe we should go with that. I'm gonna put that on there. And then put our pocket over it. Nah. This is the part that takes the longest, is figuring out what you want to put on. So let's just go ahead and put our chipboard on here again, and I'll show you that again. And we will assemble the card. I've got my heavy-duty cutter out here. And you know what? I'm going to cut an entirely different piece of chipboard. That one with the sticky on it is having some issues. So we need this to be 5 inches. And it's 2 now. I'm going to take it down to 1. Is that even? Not even close. Goodness gracious me. I have my hair stuck in the cutter. That's probably not safe. So this one is going to be a little shorter because I have such a small piece here. And I'm having a hard time, yeah, keeping it straight. It's not working for me. Let me try a different cutter. Chipboard can be a pain sometimes. All right, we're gonna go over to 3/4 of an inch here. And I'm gonna cut it. There we go. 3/4 is perfectly long enough. You don't have to have that full inch. Make sure it's gonna go across there, and then I'm gonna find some paper. We're gonna go back to this yellow because I have a nice big piece of it. I have a couple nice big pieces of it. I'm gonna use this one. And I am just going to, wait, what do we got here? Trying to use my scraps. And I have one here. And I have one here. Here we go. This one will work. It's nicely sized. So for this, I am just going to cut this piece down to about 2 inches. And then I'm going to glue my chipboard onto that. Let's move this out of the way so I can get into the camera. Glue the chipboard on. And that's going to be too long, but I'm just going to use my scissors. I don't need it straight. It's just to wrap it. Okay. And then we're just going to bend that all around so that we can miter this at the corners. Again, leave a little bit of extra there. And then this time I'm going to use glue because, well, that is what I have. I'll wrap that around there. And it does not have to be perfectly straight, especially if you're using this non-directional paper. This more plain yellow is not, it doesn't need to go a certain way, so to speak. Okay, and then I'm just going to level those out before I poke in my corners. I'm going to push those corners down. And some glue. And, oh, I don't know what that is. I think one of my cat's hairs decided to find its way over here on my table. And okay. So, there's our little yellow piece. Bring our card back in. Add glue or score tape, whichever you choose, to the back side of this. And I am just going to lay that right across the middle, just like we did the last one. All right, so that one is ready. And again, we can add some fun stuff on here. This bicycle would work. It has to be something that will hold with this. So now I'm going to add my glue again to our little flap at the bottom. That bottom 2.5 inches only. You don't want to glue up here. Grab your front, and we're going to pick this up and line it up, just like we did the other one. And burnish. And it's ready to stuff. How cute is that? Adorable. I don't know if you can see that. And you can add other stuff. We could put this strip of green across here just to add some color. I'm not sure. I will finish these up and I'll have pictures of them for you of what I put inside. I will say I added some string. This is the black seam binding from Country Craft Creations and a black checkered bow that I'm going to adhere to that one to make this one finished. So that is how you make fun little tag pocket cards out of easel cards out of your scraps. So I hope you guys make some of these. They're super fun. Have a fun day. Bye-bye.